Alright NFL fans. Get ready for a little cross-divisional drama. It's not every day you hear a star player from one team publicly offering unsolicited contract advice to a rival. But that's exactly what Los Angeles Rams wideout Puka Nacua just did. And his target? None other than San Francisco 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy and his potential massive extension. Nacua dropped this little gem while appearing on Julian Edelman's Games with Names podcast. Edelman asked Puka if he thought Purdy was heading towards that $50 million per year range on his next contract. Nacua's response was telling. While he thought something in the mid-40s might be more accurate, he specifically warned against the $50 million figure. He seems like a smart guy. They have a chance to still be in their window. And I think if he goes for $50 million annually, the window closes, right? Now, let's put that $50 million number into perspective in today's NFL. Quarterbacks making that kind of money on average per year is, frankly, becoming quite common among the league's top signal callers. 10 different quarterbacks are set to average at least $50 million annually on their current contracts heading into 2025. We're talking about guys like Dak Prescott leading the way at $60 million annually on his new deal. Plus Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, and Jalen Hurts. So, the $50 million mark isn't some mythical figure. It's the reality for many of the league's established top QBs. And Brock Purdy, despite being famously drafted as the very last pick in 2022, has certainly played like a quarterback who belongs in that conversation. In his 3 seasons as the 49ers starter, he's gone 23-13, thrown 64 touchdowns against 27 interceptions, and led the team all the way to a Super Bowl appearance in 2023, where they took the Chiefs to overtime. Given his draft position, his current contract is pennies compared to his production and the salaries of his peers. He is absolutely due for an enormous pay raise, and the 49ers have already hinted they are willing to give him an extension. So, if Purdy has performed at a high level and the $50 million mark is standard for top QBs, why would a rival player like Puka Nacua caution the 49ers against paying him that much? This is where the fun, and maybe a little bit of mischief, comes in. What does Nacua, a star receiver on the division rival Rams, have to gain from publicly commenting on the 49ers' contract situation? As the article points out, personally, maybe not much in terms of his own contract, but it certainly doesn't hurt to try and sow a little discord among your opponents. Maybe Nacua is attempting some subtle mind games, trying to plant a seed of doubt in the 49ers' minds about paying Purdy top dollar? Or perhaps, is he trying to get into Brock Purdy's head, maybe making him so focused on getting paid more than some of the less accomplished quarterbacks in that $50 million plus club that it becomes a distraction? While Nacua delivered his comments with a straight face, the article notes that immediately after turning the question back to Edelman, Nacua couldn't help but flash a guilty smile. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's being an agent of chaos, adding a little spice to the intense Rams-49ers rivalry. Because let's be real, whether the 49ers give Purdy a massive extension or not doesn't directly impact Puka Nacua's ability to catch passes. But a highly paid Brock Purdy who continues to play at a Pro Bowl level and leads a successful 49ers team absolutely makes life miserable for the Los Angeles Rams. The 49ers are undoubtedly a much better team with Purdy under center. And locking him in long-term means the Rams will have to contend with him in the NFC West for years to come. For that reason, and many more rooted in the heat of a fierce divisional rivalry, it's really no surprise that Puka Nacua wouldn't mind seeing those contract negotiations turn a little sour for the 49ers. His comments are likely less about genuine financial advice and more about the playful, strategic trash-talking that is a hallmark of NFL rivalries. It adds another layer to the competition and makes the matchups between these two teams even more entertaining. So, while Puka Nacua might hint that a big Brock Purdy contract could close the 49ers' window, maybe he's just hoping to open up a window of opportunity for his own Rams by injecting a little chaos next door. It's all part of the game. What do you think? Is Puka Nacua genuinely concerned? Or is he just playing mind games? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for your patience and persistence. I am working to apply your instructions correctly.
Can you imagine one of the league's hottest WRs quietly planting seeds of doubt in a rival front office? That's exactly what Rams star Puka Nacua did when he warned the 49ers not to sink their salary cap into a $50 million a year Brock Purdy extension or risk watching their Super Bowl window slam shut. Nacua dropped this bombshell on Julian Edelman's Games with Names podcast, suggesting that once your QB crosses that $50 million threshold, the window closes, right? It's a clever way to say, overpaying an unproven starter can cripple a team's flexibility. After all, the NFL is a cruel ecosystem. Commit too heavily to one player and you handcuff yourself from building around him. Now, let's break it down. Purdy, the Mr. Irrelevant turned passing phenom, has gone 23-13 as San Francisco starter, thrown 64 touchdowns against just 27 picks, and nearly secured a Lombardi in 2023. He's talented, tough, and wildly efficient. By draft day logic, he deserves a payday. But in today's market, 10 QBs already average north of $50 million APY. Prescott, Lawrence, Allen, Burrow, Tagovailoa, Goff, Herbert, Jackson, and Hurts. Those guys didn't just earn hype. They've already carried franchises to the brink. Puka's point? Locking Purdy into that elite tier could backfire. What happens if Purdy slumps? What if injuries strike? You can't pivot when half your cap is tied to one guy. And 5 years down the road, do you really want the 49ers sweating over whether they can sign their next top-tier pass rusher or re-sign Deebo Samuel? Because a massive chunk of cash is pouring into a QB who, let's face it, hasn't yet proven to be in that elite bracket for a full decade. It's classic division rival trash talk with a strategic undercurrent. By sowing doubt, Nacua's hoping San Francisco hesitates, maybe stalls negotiations, buys time for the Rams to swoop in, or at least weakens Purdy's leverage. After all, a distracted front office is an inefficient one. But let's be fair, the 49ers have shown they're not afraid to invest in their stars. They gave George Kittle big money. They've managed the cap like chess masters. If anybody can give Purdy a max deal and still keep rolling, it's Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. Yet even they have to calculate risk versus reward, because every superstar deal has a downside. So what's the takeaway? The NFL's QB pay wars are a high-stakes game of financial Jenga. One wrong move and the whole roster tumbles. Puka Nacua just reminded us that sometimes the smartest play is to leave some cash on the table. If you think the 49ers should go all in on Purdy anyway, hit that like button. If you agree with Puka that they'd be foolhardy to break the bank, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because in this league, every contract negotiation is another round of strategic warfare. Under coach Kyle Shanahan and GM John Lynch, the 49ers spent 6 long years searching for a franchise quarterback. And now that they have Brock Purdy, it appears they're prepared to break the bank to secure him for the future. The organization reportedly opened talks at $45 million per year for Purdy. For a figure that suggests they're aiming for a final deal in the $50 million range. Owner Jed York even went so far as to call Purdy a top 10 quarterback, citing his play in conjunction with Shanahan's offensive system. Yet many critics argue that while Purdy's performances have been impressive, he's more accurately a top 15 talent at best. Purdy, who is currently under contract for $5.3 million this year and carries a franchise tag valued at $40.241 million, has become the centerpiece of the 49ers' quarterback strategy. This move comes in the wake of several high-profile quarterback missteps in San Francisco. Jimmy Garoppolo ultimately fell short, Trey Lance flamed out, and the team even passed on a future star like Patrick Mahomes while waiting for Kirk Cousins. Now, with the arrival of Mac Jones, the 49ers have another option, one that some wonder could be a more cost-effective solution than overpaying Purdy. The risk, however, is that if Purdy's production begins to slip, if he regresses from his current top 15 levels, the hefty contract could limit the 49ers' financial flexibility in other areas of the roster. Some insiders question whether the market will bear a top 10 price tag for a quarterback whose performances might be more fleeting than those of elite counterparts like Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, or Burrow. The situation highlights a broader challenge in today's NFL. Rewarding talent with large contracts is essential, but overpaying for a player who might never reach that elite echelon can paint an organization into a corner. For now, the 49ers appear committed to investing in Purdy, betting that his skill set and Shanahan's system will elevate him to a level that justifies a blockbuster deal. Only time will tell if Purdy will rise to the challenge or if the 49ers' decision to break the bank will backfire, leaving them with a tight salary cap and limited flexibility in the future.